Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're actually talking about the stretch percentage of your fabric. You've ever found a pattern and you said, oh, I want to make this pattern. It is super cute. It is made with knit fabric, but it says it needs a, something that has a 50% or 75%. Well, how do I find out how much stretch my fabric has? Let me show you how easy it is to figure that out. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and use a ruler. You can use your mat if you want to, or a ruler. That really doesn't matter. And then you're gonna grab your fabric. I'm gonna start with a double brush poly, and I've grabbed my fabric and I folded it kind of in half, so I'm in the middle of the fabric. I don't want to be at the edge. I want to be somewhere in the middle so it's got the most consistent stretch. I'm using my fabric in the stretch wise, so my fabric stretches this way. That's the most stretch that my fabric has. My grain lines are at the sides, so they're going this way, and this is the stretch of the fabric. So I'm going to place my fabric right there. I've got my ruler. You can use a ruler, measuring tape, whatever. You just need to measure your inches. And I'm going to go with the number 4 inches. So I'm going to start at the 0 and I'm going to pinch my fabric at the 0. Then I'm going to go over to the 4 inches and pinch my fabric again at 4 inches. Now that I have it like this, I'm going to stretch my fabric as far as it'll go. Okay, so my fabric goes pretty much all the way to 6 right here. And that means that my fabric has 50% stretch. If it goes to the 5, it's got 25%. If it goes to the 6, it's got 50, 7, it's got 75%, and so on. And I'm going to explain to you why. Every time you have all the way to the 4, that's 100%. Okay, that's our measurement we're going to measure by. So if we grab 4, which is the number that we're going by, and we times it by 125, we're going to measure because we want to see if it's got 25%. That would equals to 5. So that's 25, because you want to grab the 100% plus the 25. So this is 25. Now, if we want to find out the 50%, does it have 50% stretch? We're going to get 4 and we're going to times it by 150, and that equals 6, which tells me that my fabric has to go all the way to 6. Now, so on and so forth. Like for 75, we're going to go ahead and grab our fabric. We're going to grab 4 inches and we're going to multiply by 175, and that will give me a 7, which means that my fabric has to come all the way to that 7 to be a 75% stretch. So we figured out with this double brush poly. Now, not all double brush poly are created equal, but with this one, it's got a 50% stretch. Is that what we said? Okay, we grabbed it at 0, I'm sorry. We grabbed it at 4 and we stretched and it went all the way to 60. And the 60 was our 50% stretch. Okay? Then, or really you can just double. You see that this is 4, so you're quartering. So every time that you go a quarter, which is each inch is a quarter, then you're adding a quarter stretch. That's another way to look at it. Let me try another fabric. This is a French terry. As you can see, here's my grain line, and I'm just gonna fold it, and I'm gonna place it right on my mat. I'm gonna pinch it at 0. I'm gonna pinch it at 4, and then I'm gonna stretch. This one only goes to about 5 and just a tiny bit. So that means that this one only has a 25%, maybe 30 stretch. Okay, let's try a rib knit. I love rib knit fabric. Again, we've got our grain line right here. This is our edge of our, didn't mean to say grain line. This is our selvage right here. And our fabric is going this way. This is our stretch. Our stretch goes this way. So again, we're gonna grab it at 0, pinch it at 4, and stretch. Look at this one. This one has really good stretch, almost 75. Not quite, but almost. Really good. And let's try one last one. This is a sweater knit, and I feel like the sweater knit has tons of stretch, so we'll have to see. Again, I folded it. We're gonna start at 0. Whoop. It's trying to fall down. Don't do it. We're gonna go, whoa, don't move on me. We're gonna go to 4, and then we're gonna stretch. Look at that. Again, 75. 75% stretch. That's awesome. How neat and easy was that? Super, super easy. Because now when you find a pattern and it says, you know, 50% stretch, 75% stretch, whatever, you can grab your fabric and you can actually measure the stretch and know exactly how much stretch you have on that fabric and see if it's gonna work for your project. It is very important that you follow those rules, because if you grab a pattern and it says it needs 75% stretch to, you know, for it to hang loose and look like it's supposed to, and you use something that only has 25%, it's gonna be tighter than the fit intended. Especially when you use something like, if you're working on like leggings, or you're working on a swimsuit, or you're working on something like that, that has negative ease, which means it needs to stretch to go on your body. If you buy some fabric that doesn't stretch like the pattern calls for, then it's gonna be really tight on your body and it's not gonna work. And we don't wanna waste money and time sewing something that's not gonna work. So I hope this was helpful. I know that when I first started sewing, I had no idea what the stretch percentage of any of the fabric was. And I know that a lot of stores will have it on their site, like fabric stores will have it on their site. So you can look at that as well. But it's always nice to make sure yourself that it is the right stretch. And sometimes you forget where you even got it from. So it's nice to know how to be able to do it. And that is all I have for you all today. I hope this was helpful. Comment below if you have any questions. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss out any of our tutorials or tips and tricks. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!